This is the Schmo with the legendary pro striking coach Jason Parillo inside the RVCA Gym, Costa Mesa, California. How we doing?
How we doing, Schmo, man?
We're doing good, man. You coming off a victory, UFC Rochester in the corner of Rafael Dos Anjos against Kevin Lee, man. The result you were expecting, I see.
The exact result I was expecting. I feel like you were expecting the same result too, no?
Well, the Schmo did train with both of them. Obviously, the veteran strength of Rafael Dos Anjos, it withered the storm of the young gun, Kevin Lee.
It really did. It really did. It weathered the storm and put the storm right back on him, and we got him out of there, didn't we?
RDA, during the Octagon post-game speech, he credited you to a lot of that success, man. What's the secret for you, man, giving advice in the corner and training with these guys weeks and weeks in advance?
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? It's experience. It's good. I mean, fortunately, was I believe my seventh fight with Hoff, and really gotten to get to know him. You know what I mean? And knowing how he works, and experience really comes into play when you're in the middle of the fights. You know, a lot of times you got a lot. Lots going on. If it's basically a car accident happening, and you got to figure out how to communicate with your athlete during the car accident. There's a lot of adrenaline going. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of advice, and there's a lot of people yelling. There's a big crowd of people screaming, and you got to be able to connect with your athlete while you're in the corner during during war or whatever you want to call it, during a fist fight.
And you've seen a lot of those. You also trained legendary fighter BJ Penn. He's got a big losing streak going on. He may or may not fight in the UFC again. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's it. And BJ Penn is a fighter's fighter. He's going to try to fight for the rest of his life until he can't anymore, until they completely take it away from him. But at the end of the day, I've been told the UFC is not going to give him a fight. But
like Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, just like Tito. Tito went through the same experience, and he would have loved. I think he would have continued to compete in the UFC as long as they were booking him fights. But obviously you see he's now with the UFC, but you see him still fighting now. Tito's 44 years old. I think he's got a fight coming up this year as well. So it's hard to explain to people what a fighter is. I mean, when a fighter's a fighter, they're a fighter. And trying to explain that to, I guess, the average everyday Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Just understanding being a fighter, it's a difficult thing. I think the guys that understand why a guy keeps fighting, usually they're fighters. They get why they're doing it. They get and they understand what it's like to live and breathe fighting your entire life, and it's almost like you're not yourself anymore when you're not putting yourself up there on the block to be in a fist fight.
But as their coach, man, are you comfortable saying, enough is enough? I mean, a lot of these guys, they got families, when do you say to a fighter, hey, man, enough is enough, or hey, girl, enough is enough?
You say it time and time again now. I said, this is good. It's a good way to finish off. Let's ride out into the sunset. But, it continues to happen. I get asked that question as well. Please tell BJ Penn not to fight again. Please tell, BJ's last fight, you see some of these guys, they're getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
They're getting knocked out. BJ Penn's not getting knocked out.
He's gassing out.
He's gassing out. Schmo, man, that's exactly what it is. He's fucking gassing out. It drives me batshit crazy because, you can't draw any, a guy loses gas, you can't, I don't care how talented he is, I don't care what he knows, I don't care what you're telling him technically in between rounds or technically anywhere. When a guy doesn't have a gas tank, you're dead.
Got to get him on a new conditioning plan.
Well, of course, and that's where it comes into play, and there's a tremendous amount of distraction for BJ in this last fight. We don't need to get into those, but there was a tremendous amount of distractions, and he couldn't leave the island. He had to go and train in his backyard where, there's a lot more distractions as well. But, conditioning has obviously always been BJ's biggest nemesis, from the time he was in the early days of the UFC to now today. Everybody sees a guy that comes out, and you could, BJ showed up in that first round against Clay Guida. A lot of people had him winning. The judges had him winning that first round. But again, the conditioning came into play, just like it has done in the past. And he fell short in the fight. Did he get knocked out? Did he get submitted? He took some bumps and bruises. He had a couple black eyes, which starts happening later in life. Anyways, back in the day, you never see a scratch on BJ Penn. But yeah. Condition is huge, and that's something. If he was to make the decision, if they were to give him a fight again, do I say we don't need to do this anymore before? Of course, that's what you say. Is he going to call me up if he does want to fight again and say, Parillo, I need you to help me with this fight, or either he's going to want me there in the corner, or he's going to be willing to come out here and get on a really proper program. That's a way it could happen, but we'll see what happens. I can't probably at the same time, being in this MMA, I get a tremendous amount of questions about BJ Penn, and what other athletes you work with, but it's always going to be up to them at the end of the day. I could be like some other coaches won't even work with the guy. They'll say, I don't want you to fight again. I don't agree with you, fight again. Fuck off. I'm not going to help you out with it. I don't know if that's the best way to go as well. I don't know if that's the right way to go. That's not my personality. That's not how I work. You know what I mean? I got to connect to these athletes. If you look at the timeline with all my athletes that I've worked with and the high level athletes that I've worked with, I don't have falling out with my athletes. I don't tell them to go fuck themselves, and they don't tell me to go fuck myself. They respect me, and I respect them. I think that's what's most important. And if everybody's opinion is this athlete shouldn't fight anymore, in my opinions are that they shouldn't fight anymore, but they are going to fight still, I want to do everything in my power to try to help them out during the whole process, no matter what. Even if I say, no, you're not going to, and they say, yeah, I'm going to fight, I say, well, I'm going to be there for you. If they ask me to be there for them, I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to say, no, I don't agree with you fighting. Go out and get your ass kicked without me there. You know what I mean? Hey, we've been doing this together for a long fucking time. If you want to go out and risk getting your ass kicked, I got your back. Let's go out there, and I'm going to try to hopefully give you some type of advice if I can. And if you're in too thick and you're in a bad situation, hopefully I can help get you out of there.
Well said. Very diplomatic, Coach. On a lighter note, only one pack of cigarettes earlier today for you?
That's it. Just one pack. Well, it's early in the day, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't got to watch on. Don't pretend like you know the time. We're rambling. Anyways, you've taped the Schmo's wrist. You've taped some legendary fighters' wrist. Obviously, Michael Bisping. Maybe Luke Rockhold walked around here. Jalen Turner, active fighter. Tito Ortiz. Who's been the toughest wrist you've ever taped in your lifetime, Coach?
Yeah, I can really actually answer that question. It's a girl that I haven't trained with in years. I had a girl by the name of Jessica Penn. Hey, Jessica, hi. What's up, love? You were the hardest hand wrap. Oh, my God. I think I had to take it off 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? It's real sensitive with the hand wrap. But there's, I mean.
Like penne pasta.
Good one, Schmo.
Yes.
Great one.
on the cusp.
But, I mean, usually you wrap their hands enough times, you get a feel for how they like them. Because not every hand's different. You know what I mean? I don't wrap the same way with every hand. It's just kind of dependent on the feel and what a guy's looking for. Does he want to grapple more? Does he want to, punch more? Does he want his thumbs wrap? You know what I mean? There's a wide range of wrapping the hands at the end of the day. But I guess my answer would be you, Jessica Penn. Toughest hand wrap I've ever had.
We'll get you out of here on this. For all the aspiring strikers out there, from the legend himself, what's the best advice you give to any of those people out there, boys and girls out there, that want to get into the striking game, mixed martial arts or boxing?
What's my advice to them as far as improving on it or just wanting to get into it?
Let's do a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Wanting to get in it, you got to put one foot in front of the other, walk into a gym and say, this is what I want to do. 2, hi, buddy. 2, if it's something that you'd want to do, you got to find out if you can do it. And that means you got to put yourself in the fire line. If you don't mind getting hit in the head a little bit, it's something you can improve in. Now, at the end of the day, the most important thing to get better at striking is repetition. And that's it. It's all repetition. You know what I mean? It really is. It's obviously you want to work on the right fundamentals. You got thousands. You can learn the basics and the fundamentals on YouTube if you want. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of repetition, and then when you become a fighter, having the right people around you. Obviously getting the right advice. But it's repetition to get better at striking. It really is, and being having the right technique, I guess. I mean, it's not rocket science. So, the difficult part about it is going through the whole grind, just going through, getting to the point to where you can fight. I mean, you got a lot of guys out there that call themselves fighters, but they can't fight. You know what I mean? They can go out and throw punches, and they can take some punches, but they actually don't have the concept of fighting. At the end of the day, they don't know how to fight. You know, they can go in there and get in a fight, but over the course of time, you learn how to fight, and repetition is going to be the best thing for you as far as getting better at throwing your punches and kicks and whatever else you want to throw.
You heard it here, folks. YouTube and repetition. He's the pro. I'm the schmo. We're out.
Schmo, man.